and welcome to You Have Beauty Care Choices. I'm Jennifer Coy, the CEO of Beauty Care Choices, and we have an amazing show for you. We created You Have Beauty Care Choices. These are the type of meetings that usually happen in my office when I'm determining what kind of brands to carry and which brands to bring on. I usually get the creative educators or brand owners to teach me about the brand. And yet through the years, doing this for 15 years, I've realized that a lot of the questions that are answered in my office are asked by you guys all the time, our customers and clients, salon clients. So that's why we created this show. It's our way of giving back to you, teaching you about the brands we carry and helping you find new brands that you might want to try or new products in brands that you already use. So I have a super exciting show for you today. We are talking all things Mirabella Beauty. Mirabella is a cosmetic line and a skincare brand that we've sold for quite some time, but has gone through some changes. And I am so excited to tell you, I forgot to shut off my phone. I am so excited to tell you that we have the president and creative director, Miranda Coggins, who is coming on with no makeup. And their national education director, Sara is going to be applying the makeup as we talk. So how fun is this? I am super excited to welcome to our show Miranda Coggins, president of Mirabella, and Sara Kelly, the national education director. Welcome.
Hi guys, thanks so much for having us. Really, really appreciate it.
We're very excited to learn more today about Mirabella Beauty. I have a lot of my staff on live with us today. Anyone joining in, please tell us where you're joining from, and we're happy to answer your questions. But we're really excited to learn about your company. Miranda, tell us some of the changes and where the company's at today.
Well, one, we thought it would be really funny for me to come on with no makeup, which is really intimidating, but we're here because we really want to tell you about some of our favorite products. So the really great thing about Mirabella is that we are gluten-free, paraben-free, animal cruelty-free, and we're family-owned and operated. So a couple years, we actually bought Mirabella. We own another brand called Pure Cosmetics as well. We bought Mirabella in 2017, and it has undergone a full revamp. So we've worked very closely with our makeup artist and our stylist to make sure to make professional grade products that are very wearable, but also very clean, like the gluten-free. And we've just revamped and rebranded the entire line. So the cool thing is everything that you're seeing is new, current, very trendy, and just really awesome wearable makeup and products.
You really have really brought this brand full circle. I've always liked Mirabella, but it did need an upgrade and some new life into it. And I love the cruelty-free aspects and the gluten-free and paraben-free direction that you're going. We obviously in our clean salon direction, that's why we love partnering with you guys, is the alcohol-free, and we're all about cruelty-free. So thank you for coming on with no makeup. You're gorgeous, but I can't wait to see Sara's transformation on you guys today. So let's get started. What are we going to get started with?
Well, first, I came with really clean prepped skin. So I wanted to talk to you really about my morning routine, which is one, our AMP eyelash enhancer and brow enhancer, which you guys carry. It retails for $50, and it's 3 full ounces, which is normally about an ounce more than everyone else's. But the nice thing is you can use it on your brows and lashes, which is great. You want to use it twice a day.
Absolutely. And then $50 is a great value for a lash and brow serum. So
absolutely. Yeah, you don't need 2, so that's always handy. And then I prep the skin with our awesome skincare. This is new. We launched it about a year ago. We actually designed it with Sara. Sara is an esthetician by trade.
Yay, good job, Sara.
Yes, it's amazing. So do you want to talk about our cleanse? So first I cleansed. And the cool thing about this entire skincare, there's 3 pieces. You can buy all of them together, not as a set, but you can put them all in your cart and it's less than $80, which is super affordable.
So the really cool thing about all 3 steps in the skincare system is that everything is good for all skin types. Super gentle, anti-inflammatories, some anti-aging ingredients, of course alcohol-free on the toner. but it really helps soothe the skin, get everything nice and clean, and it is really designed to prep for makeup application. So it is just 3 pieces, but it really gets the skin in optimal condition so that your foundations, powders, things like that lay really nicely on the skin.
Here is our, balance. Here's our balance, which is our toner as well. It's no alcohol, and it's got an easy to use dispenser, I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah, this is really great, especially just to maintain cleanliness with the bottle. You just put a little cotton round or cotton ball on top and push down, so you don't have to worry about like opening a jar and it's getting messy. Super easy to use.
I love that dispenser. That is so handy because obviously when you pour too much because it's a liquid.
Exactly.
The toner's a
So
liquid.
it goes
So
a long
smart.
way.
So we're cleansing, and then we're toning, and then what's our next step?
Moisturizing.
Moisturizing. Good.
So awesome airless pump, so no waste. We worked again with Sara. There was a really gentle, it's not too heavy, and it's got a vitamin C. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we do have some ceramides and peptides in that product, and it is a lotion texture. So we do get that question, especially for people that have dry skin and are used to using a heavier cream. You're still going to get really hydrated skin using it, but it is a lighter texture so that you can put makeup on right away.
Yeah, we do work with a lot of makeup artists, and they really love this because you can go right into makeup application without it, taking too long to set in.
Good. So the oil or the moisturizer is quick drying or quick absorbing, and you can go straight to makeup. I want to say hi to everyone joining us. Hi, David. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Chris. Hi, Allison. Hi, Joe. Hi, Karen. Please tell us where you're coming from and let us know if you have any questions. We appreciate you being here. So we have our cleanse, tone, moisturize. Where are we going, Sara?
Next, we're going to talk about our lip scrub. So this is another prep product. So it's been a big hit this winter, especially with people having kind of chapped or dry lips. It's a sugar scrub, but it's in this lipstick tube. So super easy to apply. So Miranda's just kind of working it back and forth. I like to do this toward the beginning of an application because it does have some natural oils, so those are going to absorb. And then as it sits on the lips, that sugar will dissolve also.
And you saw me lick my lips. So the nice thing is it's edible. So it tastes good too because it is a sugar scrub.
Okay, so for a sugar scrub, we typically think with a scrub you're going to wash it off, but you don't need to.
You don't have to, but that is one reason I like to do it at the beginning of the application because you can kind of work your lips back and forth and it will help that sugar dissolve. And then by the time you get to putting on lip color at the end of an application, you should be good to go.
Oh, good. Great tips.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Of course.
Okay, so now we're going to start with our Awaken. So we actually have 2 primers because I am not a spring chicken anymore. We are actually going to use the Awaken primer. So I'm going to have Sara tell you about those.
I'm an Awaken girl too.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, we do have the 2 different forms. We're choosing Awaken because this is a serum primer and it has a tightening and lifting quality to it. It's also super hydrating. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one reason Miranda likes it. For those that maybe get oily or they have a lot of wrinkling or skin texture, that's where you would want to use the prime. So it is more of a traditional primer. It's silicone based and it's a little bit thicker. But like she said, we're going to use the Awaken. I do recommend that people shake it since it is a serum. When you're putting it on yourself, you can definitely put it on your fingertips and then go to the skin. Since I'm applying on Miranda, I'm going to be using a brush. And I like to use our flat foundation brush to apply primers.
And the cool thing about our brushes is they are professional brushes. They are weighted and they're this really beautiful brushed aluminum handle. So our brushes are amazing.
They are. I love the whole brush set and I love the travel kit that they come in. This little tube is amazing for keeping your brushes in shape. You know, anytime they go in a cosmetic bag and you travel with them, the bristles end up looking like your bed head. So yeah, we love your brushes also.
The cool thing about that set is what a lot of people don't even realize. You can throw all of your pencils in there and they're all together when you travel. So that is what's amazing about that whole little tube. And there's a lot of additional brushes that you can add to that brush set that are not in the brush set. So the one that you're showing is our professional brush that kind of has our key brushes that are needed, but we have some additional brushes as well that can be purchased and put into the set.
And the brush that Sara is using currently is the flat
foundation brush.
Flat foundation brush.
Yeah, and I like to use this because the bristles are a little bit stiffer. So when you're putting something on the skin that is more liquidy, doing this means that it's not going to absorb into the bristles as much. So you're not wasting that product. So I just kind of smooth it on the skin, and then I don't know if you noticed earlier, I was kind of pressing it into her eye area.
Mm-hmm.
So anywhere where you feel like you might need a little tightening and lifting, I like to just press a little extra into that area.
Ooh, good tip. Good tip. So she's
Yeah.
using the Awaken Primer, serum type primer, and it's got all the lifting and face firming qualities within the primer. So it's also setting up for your makeup, right? So it still has the same qualities as the same prime. Would you ever use both primers, or you're choosing one or the other?
No, I use both on quite a few people. It really just depends on what kind of skin you're dealing with. So like I mentioned earlier, the Awaken is very hydrating. So if you have someone that their skin is a little bit more dehydrated, you're going to start with the Awaken, and then you can come in with the prime, maybe just where they have some texture issues or some deeper wrinkles, and just press the prime on top of those areas.
Because the primer actually has a little bit more smoothing effects, correct? To fill in the fine lines.
Spackle for the skin.
Yeah.
So it's just helping to really perfect that canvas before you go in and put makeup on.
Nice. Nice. It looks good. It already looks smoother.
Oh, thank you.
A little radiance on there.
Yes.
So after we prime.
Yeah, next we're going to go to my very favorite. We have 3 foundations, and they're all really made for different skin. My personal favorite is the Invincible. It's an HD anti-aging foundation, and it gives you that airbrushed look. It's my favorite. However, we've got our Defense and our CC cream that's got a sunscreen in it, as well as our skin tint, and so that's made for oily skin. And then we have our skin tint foundation that is actually made for like acne prone skin, and it's more medium coverage. These other 2 are more full coverage, and Sara can talk a little bit more about that because she's got to put my makeup on now.
We have Miss Shay joining us in customer service. She says the skin tint is my lifesaver. Miss Shay is a beautiful younger girl, and she loves skin tint, but I'm so glad you're using Invincible. That's what I have on today, my all-time favorite foundation for a little bit more mature skin. And
exactly.
We actually, our best sellers are the other 2 ones, the skin tint and the cream foundation. Those are actually our top sellers, and so I'm so glad that you're showing the Invincible, because this really is for anyone that struggles with, if you feel like you can't wear foundation anymore because your skin is just a little too mature or it's not absorbing it well enough, this is different. It's completely different. Sara, tell us why.
Well, so the Invincible has an anti-aging ingredient in it called Matrixyl 3000. It's a peptide complex. So with continued use, you actually get improvement in things like texture, fine lines and wrinkles, firmness of the skin. But this is an HD foundation too. So what that means is when the light hits it, it diffuses that light, so imperfections are less noticeable. And then it is a full coverage, and it's like this really cool demi matte finish. So, you know, you're not getting that like kind of chalky matte look, but it's not super shiny either. It's a really great cross between the 2. And
like Miranda said, sorry, I was going to say, like Miranda said, it looks almost airbrushed. It really does,
yes.
Even as you're putting it on. Sorry, tell me about your brush again.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm using 2 different brushes on her because obviously I'm applying on someone else. On myself, I would just distribute it with my fingers on the face, and then come in with our Sculpting foundation and contour brush. This is what it looks like here. It's slanted, and then the bristles are really nice and dense. I like to stipple that on, so you'll see me kind of pressing it into the skin like this, and that's what helps you get that really nice airbrushed finish. The reason I distribute it on the face first is because if you just kind of pump it and scoop up with this brush, you're going to waste a lot of it on the brush.
It's going to end up stuck into the bristles and not on the tip. Yeah.
Well, and the cool thing, so this is fairly new. We've had it in the line about 2 years, and I literally make everything. So this is something that I fell in love with. I had to come out with it. And so when we started looking at adding an additional foundation to the line, I really wanted to make something for kind of our age group. But it's like you were talking about, your beautiful person that works for you is younger. It works great for skin tint. My daughter also wears skin tint when they have that beautiful skin, but as we age and our skin is not perfect, then you want something that's going to give you that full coverage look, but without looking cakey. And that's really what Invincible is.
Absolutely.
I honestly can't say enough about Invincible. This is my bottle. I'm due for a new one. It's almost gone. But literally, because of how the dispenser is, you get every single drop out, and you're not trying to squeeze the last of it up. This dispenser is amazing. I ran into Miranda at a hair show a couple years ago when she was just launching this, and you gave me, you said you must try this, Jen, and I literally haven't turned back. It is truly an amazing foundation for myself. I actually kind of have, I think might be also the age I'm at. Sometimes I'm sweaty and sometimes I'm dry. And this just seems to work with both, you know. It really does, it gives you that kind of somewhat matte, but like you said, still a little moisture in there also.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of go in just so that you guys can see that airbrush dewy look. I'm sorry, I get a little bit backwards, but there. So it's an airbrush dewy look, and it just, I love this stuff. So just to kind of simplify, I would say Invincible is really great for everybody, but especially if you're not a spring chicken anymore, and then you've got defense if you have oily skin, and if you want that medium coverage, I would go with skin tint. Or if you have problems with acne, skin tint is also really, really good for your skin as well. So
good stuff here. I really I think this is an undersold product, so I'm glad we showed it today. It looks beautiful. It looks
thank you.
All coming together so smooth. But the other two products obviously have different uses for them. Now, I will say I will use the skin tint on days that I'm doing more active stuff. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not looking for full coverage, anytime I'm on camera, I'm using the Invincible, the HD, just how it works with the cameras. If you're doing any kind of camera work, if you're doing videos or blogs or whatever, if you have to be on camera, you need to try Invincible regardless of how old you are, because it looks beautiful on camera. But on my active days, loving that skin tint for the lighter, more sheer coverage.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So where are we going next, Sarah?
We're going to go in with a little bit of our Pure Press.
Okay.
So there are multiple uses for this. It is a pressed foundation, but you can also use it as a setting powder. So like you just mentioned, people being on camera, I do like to layer the two. It just gives you a little bit more coverage. It kind of helps set the foundation a little bit, and then can control some shine if you have that issue. I'm using our Kabuki brush. Oop, there we go.
Look at how fat and fluffy that is. I love that Kabuki brush. It's like, you know, two swipes around the face, you're done.
Exactly. And there are a couple different ways you can apply it. Kabuki's going to get quite a bit of coverage. If you just wanted a light wash of it to set your foundation, you can come in with a larger powder brush, or like our dual finish blush and powder brush here. Mm-hmm. That works as well. I like the Kabuki, and you can sweep across the face kind of like this.
Right.
But you can also come in and stipple. So if she maybe had some scarring or discoloration and you just need that extra coverage, you would come in and just kind of press it like this.
Okay.
Right where you need it.
Our foundation is, our powder is amazing because it is triple milled, so it's very light, but it's also buildable. We also have natural antioxidants in it. It's been one of our best sellers for years and years, and it's one of everybody's favorites, especially like if you get a little bit oily in the middle of the day. It's great to just throw in your purse to help absorb the oil as well. But again, you kind of see that it gives that overall finished look.
And it does come with a little compartment here that has a sponge.
Love that.
I love that. The sponge is really great for touch-ups. I just recommend that they store the sponge down here instead of on the powder.
Okay. And I love that. I mean, how we all know it can kind of start to get really saturated in makeup being right on top of the foundation. Your packaging is just amazing. I have to say that. You really think outside the box on a lot of your different dispensers, and I love that. Mirabella's
That's all her.
smart cookie. You're a smart cookie there, girl. Thank you for joining us, Tammy. I'm glad you're here. Be sure and ask us questions if you have any questions along the way. I'm sure Sarah's definitely happy to help you. So that's looking great. Now we've got that finished kind of a glow. You look beautiful already. Where else are we gonna go?
I think we're going to bounce into eyebrows. Eyebrows are huge right now. It's big business. Everybody likes them to be a little bit more bold than several years ago. So I'm going to use a couple products on Miranda. She has eyebrows that are a little bit thinner, so I'm going to go in with the eyebrow pencil first to shape them. This pencil is really cool because it is a very skinny lead, so you're able to draw those little hair strokes or outline the brow very easily. And it's also waterproof, which is super cool.
It is amazing. Celine is joining us. Thanks for joining us, Celine. She says, I love the brow pencil. And I do too. This is also the brow pencil that my daughter uses. They really are able, I've never seen a thinner pencil. You just roll it up a tiny bit because it is thin, and you have to use a very light hand and almost feather those little hairs in. But look at how perfect that ends up looking, like such a natural brow.
Right.
Yeah,
so
look, like no eyebrow.
Wow.
Eyebrow, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, you just want to do those light hair strokes. For someone that has larger brows, I don't recommend using the pencil to fill the entire brow in because one, it might look a little unnatural, but two, you're going to blow through the pencil really fast if that's what you're doing.
That's me.
So if you're somebody that likes kind of a more opaque brow and you want to get a little bit more color, then I would come in with the Quick Brow Powder. And that's this guy right here.
My favorite! Yep. I love this. Hands down, the easiest brow product on the market. I kind of am a little bit older. The big brow sensation kind of came in, and I'm not as confident with my brows drawing them in. Sarah's amazing about it. This one, honestly, you can't go wrong. Don't be afraid of it. If you don't normally fill in your brows, this is a great one to try and just test out. The applicator is so easy. And then if it kind of gets outside the brow line, you can just wipe it off and it ends up staying in your brow.
Well, and the really cool thing about this powder too is it has a powder form of shea butter in it, which allows it to stick to skin and hair. So for those of us that might not have a lot of brows, but we have that vellus hair around the eyebrow, like the little baby fine hair, this is going to stick to that and to the skin. So it's going to make it look like you have more brow than you actually do.
And that's me. I overplucked and have no brow, but I have a lot of the baby fine hair.
Right.
Yeah, with this Quick Brow product, I can really make my brows look a lot fuller than they actually are. And it is so quick. That's what I think you named it the perfect name, because it's part of my 5-minute face. If I'm just running out the door, I'm going to do, even on a sports athletic day, because I literally, as I've gotten older, some of my eyebrows are just disappearing. You can, look at how fast you can do that so quickly. And it is, I was wondering what it was, the shea butter, because it is a powder, because if you dump it, you can see it in your hand. It is a powder, but it sticks. So,
right.
Great tip.
Yeah, so for those that like to be super precise, you can tap some of the powder out and then come in with a brush like this. So this is our dual finish brow and liner brush. So you can also come in with the little tip of this, pick up some of that powder, and then get really precise with it if you need to.
So girls, we have a good question coming in, and one I've experienced also. As I'm getting older, I'm getting a few gray hairs popping through on my eyebrows. Do any of these products cover the gray hairs?
I don't know that they would cover the hair completely, but what I would recommend in that case is to probably fill in or shape with the pencil and then go in with our brow shaper.
Okay.
So the brow shaper is almost like a brow mascara, and it is colored. That's going to cling to the hair really, really well because it is more of a liquid.
Okay.
So it's going to help sort of place that color right on top of the gray brow.
Yeah, and I wanted to hear
on top.
Sorry, go ahead, Miranda. I covered you.
So you can use the brow shaper. It is like a brow mascara, and then you can always put some Quick Brow on top because it is more of a powder form, so it would stick to the brow powder, right? Or the brow shaper.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So smart. That's exactly what I do. So I have one or two that come in just right here, and if if I haven't had time to cover them, that's exactly what I do. And the brow shaper actually does stick over the top of them, so that at least, or it kind of fills in the skin below, so it's just not as jumping out at you of like, hello, you're missing a hair right there. So yes,
Well,
thanks for the question.
And I find too that once the brow hair starts to turn gray, it's a little bit more wiry, so it's a little bit harder to control, and that's where that brow shaper will help keep those brow hairs in place.
Yes. Yes.
We also have a lot of men that use the brow shaper and the brow powder in their mustaches or in their beards, because it does cling to skin and hair. So if they have a little bald spot, it helps fill that in for them too.
Wow, very cool tip. Emily's joining us saying love both those brow products, and we got 3 brow products. I know you know about the pencil and you know about quick brow shaper. What is the primary use for the shaper? Is that a fill-in product or more of a defining product?
You can do all of those things with the shaper. So that's kind of my go-to for people that already have a lot of hair and they just want to add a smidge of color and keep the brow hairs in place, because it's going to do all of that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, for most people, I usually use all 3 products. It really just depends on how much time you have, if you want to do that or not.
Absolutely. That's kind of what I was thinking too, is it's got the mascara wand brush, so it's a way to comb out if you have thick eyelash or thick brows. Comb them all, get them going the same direction, and then somewhat of a brow hairspray of sorts, of like just to keep them nice so you don't get all furrowed through the day, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Next thing I'm going to jump into are our Sculpt Duos. So I pulled 2 here. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting it in the right spot here.
It's okay. I do it every day, and I've done this a few times.
So we have our matte one here, which is really nice to add some dimension to the face. And then I pulled Fate and Serendipity, which is kind of this champagne color. And sorry, you can see that I've used this before.
I love it though.
And then this kind of bronzy color. The really cool thing about these is that they're really pretty on the eyes too. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to actually use this to put a little color in Miranda's eyes, and then we're going to put some on the rest of the face.
And you really, because of the 2-in-1, you really get 2 products for the price of 1 in all of our Sculpt Duos.
It's your contour and your highlighter, Sarah? Is that what this is? Because you're using it on the eyes, but you're saying you can use it all over the whole face, right?
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
like your bronzer and your highlighter in a combo.
Yes.
Right.
Awesome.
Yep. And it makes a really, really pretty eyeshadow. One of the trends for 2020 is like a bronzed eye. Mm-hmm. And then another is a monochromatic full face. So kind of matching cheeks to the eye color to the lip color. Mm-hmm. And that's where using a Sculpt Duo or even one of our blush duos comes in handy to kind of stay along that trend line. So I'm using our wet dry shadow brush here. It is this flat brush. It comes in the red roll. You can also buy it by itself, but it has pretty stiff bristles.
Love
and
that.
I like to use that to lay color on the main part of the eyelid. And so I'm just using this lighter color on the bottom of her eyelid here, and then I'll come in with the bronzy color and define that crease a little bit.
Miranda, do you find that you prefer more matte colors right now, or do you like the shimmer? Can you wear the shimmer?
I honestly wear everything. It's so funny because I making all the eyeshadows I do, I wear them all. I know that feedback from customers are, the little bit older don't want as much shimmer, but I think if it's worn properly and applied properly, I think anybody can wear it. What do you think, Sarah?
I agree with that. I think shimmer has its place. On the face, I almost always start out with a matte color on most people if I'm trying to define the face. So that super heavy contouring is on its way out for 2020, but you still want a little dimension on the face, especially if you're being photographed or you're going to be on film or you're going to a special event. So that's where I come in with our Hugs and Kisses. This is the matte one, and I'm using the dual finish blush and powder brush here. I like this one because it's slanted.
Me too.
So it's really nice to get kind of under the cheekbone here. And I sometimes will pinch it a little bit like this to get it a little bit thinner. So I'm going to
give you that really defined line right here, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice. I love this matte color. The one that you're holding happens to be one of my favorites. I'm one that I think because I don't have a lot of makeup application skills, or I've just gotten out of it. I'm one that is a little shy of shimmer, but I love it. I love how it looks. So I'll try and do like a tiny little, almost like an eyeliner of the shimmer, just close to my lash line. And then maybe a tiny bit of highlighter on the top of the cheeks. But other than that, I'm a little afraid, but I love watching it and seeing how it's done right.
So I think since you were talking about shimmer versus matte, one of the mistakes people make is putting the shimmer too close to the apple of their cheek.
Okay.
And that's where you start to kind of see this texture right here. As we age, our pores get big here. And that's where people are like, oh, I hate the shimmer. It makes that look worse.
Right.
So you want to measure down from your pupil and then over, and that's where you want to put it. You don't want to get it any closer in here. So just keep the pupil in mind and then go out.
Yes, I think that's the exact problem. Great tip.
Well, and the nice thing too, and we can grab one, but our eyeshadows can be used wet or dry. So, and this is our I Love You eyeshadow right here. But as we're talking about eyes, the nice thing is if you do want that bolder matte look, and this is our Romance, this has got our really beautiful like pinks and stuff, but you can use them wet or dry, and it also comes with a highlighter right in the middle. So if you want that more bold matte look, we always say you can use them wet, or you can also use them with our bulletproof, which we're going to talk a little bit later about.
Okay, so I am using a little bit of the shimmer now to just sweep. And like I said, you're keeping it about to this part of the cheek instead of the inner cheek here.
That makes so much sense because you're right. Those pores are where the troublesome is, and this is where we want it. Great tip.
That's just naturally where the light kind of catches when you move, and that's what helps you look young and youthful. So I don't think anyone really needs to steer clear of shimmer. It's just a matter of putting it in the right place.
Knowing how to do it. Thank you, Sarah. I have to say really quickly too, I love the eyeshadow palettes. Any of our guys that are watching, this is the best gift. How cute is it? It says, I love you. You could use it for Valentine's Day, your anniversary, a birthday. Guys, when you say you don't know what to buy, every woman is going to love them. And it's called the Romance Kit, but they have other colors too, but they're all really any skin tone can use them. They're very natural and neutral, and I love them all. Great job on the packaging on that. Again, Miranda.
Okay.
Well, and one of the cool things that she really thought out was making a mix of shimmers and mattes in here. And as she mentioned earlier, you can use our bulletproof setting spray and get any of these wet to make them really bold. So when I travel, I actually just take one palette with me because I can use this for eyeliner, highlighter. Sometimes I come in with the darker shades like this, get it wet, and it makes a liquid liner.
Yes.
So super
use your little flat brush. And dip it in, go straight along the edge. You can turn your shadow into a liner, any of them. And that, how much, you have almost your whole eye in that little kit. That is so practical.
Like this pink one, you can use on your cheeks as well. So we really try to make all of the products versatile for the whole face.
Yes.
All right. Let's talk about lips. We are going to do one of our new velvet lip pencils on Miranda. These are super awesome. We kept getting asked for more matte colors. So this will actually dry down to like a matte finish, and it stays all day, which is why it's called the Stay All Day Lip Pencil. The cool thing about these versus other mattes is that you can use a lip definer with them. So on her, I'm gonna use the Perfecting Lip Definer. I don't know if you guys have seen this, it is clear, which is really cool because that way you're not gonna have that really defined line around the edge of the lips, but this is going to help keep everything in place. It's also going to fill in those little fine lines we have around the edge of our mouth. So that's another perk of aging. We start getting those little lips around or those little lines around our lips, and this helps fill all of that in.
Love that.
Yeah, and she's kind of opening her mouth for me, and this is another tip when you're doing makeup on yourself. Stretch your lips out.
You want to stretch?
Yeah. So you want to stretch so that you're working that lip definer into all those little crevices. That's the whole purpose of using a lip liner or lip definer, is so that we don't have any bleeding or feathering on our lip product. So if you just kind of stretch those lips out, you're going to get that really nice border so everything stays in place.
The nice thing is about these Stay All Day pencils, we just launched them, about 3 or 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
They are new retractable, which is really great. You don't have to worry about sharpening them, but they literally, they're movable for about 2 minutes, but once they dry, they are set. They do not move.
Absolutely.
Love that. And they still stay creamy too. Once they dry, your lips don't feel dried out.
Exactly, and that is a huge perk of these because I think with so many matte products on the market right now, that's like a big complaint. You know, you put it on and once it sets, your mouth feels dry, and a lot of people don't like that feel.
Right.
So these are nice because you definitely don't have that, but you get the benefit of the long wear. Okay.
Some great colors in these, and once again, you do not need a pencil sharpener. The bottom, it just twists up. It looks like a pencil and it's strong like a pencil, and it's a little fatter, so it's durable too as you're applying it. But yeah, no pencil sharpener needed. Love that.
And we're actually using Color Forever. This is literally my favorite color, but we do have some bolder colors. We have our Mirabella Red as well. So if you like that bolder lip, this is perfect because it does stay.
Mirabella Red, one of my favorite all-time red colors. If you're looking for a red lip, check out Mirabella Red. It's poppin'.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it looks good on all skin tones too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing people always get concerned. Is it blue based or is it orange based? Most of the reds we have in the collection, no matter what the formula is, will look good on any skin tone, which I think is huge for a red.
Yeah, it's just a great true red.
All right. Then the last thing we're going to do is set her makeup with our Bulletproof. This is a matte setting spray, so it does help diminish shine. But the really cool thing about this is that it's alcohol free. Most matte setting sprays in the market use alcohol to mattify the skin. And we all know we don't want to be spraying that on our face constantly. It's just going to dry you out.
Right.
But this has about a 12-hour wear. So the makeup really, really lasts for a long time.
And so we use peony root. And so it's got natural.
I was just going to say, she's talking. That's so funny. You can tell you guys have worked together a lot.
Here, okay, do it again.
Okay, here we go. I don't know what she's
There's a
gonna
lot
do.
of things going on here, Sarah.
Okay, here we go.
That's funny.
So the nice thing about the Bulletproof is it really does set your makeup, set your eye makeup, set your overall makeup. 12 wear is probably too short because I've accidentally slept in my makeup a couple times. I wouldn't recommend it, but a couple times I wake up and my makeup really is perfect from the day before. So it really is amazing. It does kind of have a natural smell because of the peony root. It doesn't smell bad, but it's all natural. We try to make the products as natural as we can and without alcohol. So just kind of be aware of that.
Another little tidbit on this too, since it is matte, if you happen to be super oily, do a really light mist of this before you put your foundation on. And then you can stipple foundation on top of it. Now you need to stipple, so you need to do this kind of action versus sweeping foundation because it will shift around the Bulletproof. But if you spritz this on prior to foundation and you're oily, when you start to get that breakthrough shine, it's going to prevent that from hitting the foundation.
Great tip, Sarah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So really we kind of covered most everything, but obviously we have everything. We've got blushes, we've got amazing lip glosses and lipsticks and mascaras. It really is a full line. So if there's any questions out there, we can always grab it from our beautiful display that we have behind us.
We just have one question right now coming in of the Bulletproof on aging skin. So it does, it's not drying in a sense that it's going to dry out your makeup or create more fine lines, correct?
Correct, yeah. It's formulated so that it doesn't change the texture or the look of your makeup. All it's doing is setting the makeup. And then it will take away excess shine, but not to the point where somebody's going to feel dry or their skin is going to start to look flaky or cakey or anything like that.
Absolutely. I think it just helps with some of the breakthrough sweating, and also, just to keep, as you're working through the day, you don't need to continue to apply powder. For me, that's what I feel with the setting spray. If I get the setting spray, I don't feel like I need to reapply as much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. It's an amazing product. One of our favorites. They're all our favorites, obviously.
Yes, well, I definitely loving the Invincible, loving the Quick Brow, and this actually is one of my favorites too. It's super quick mattifying. This is another one that I was given at the hair show with you, and I'm going to do just a quick application.
Yeah, so while you're applying, we actually have two formulas of lip gloss. We have the matte, which will have a gold ring around it, and then we also have the regular lip gloss. So the matte will dry to a matte finish. Like Sarah actually mentioned earlier, you're not going to want to put any of our pencils with that matte because there's natural oils in our pencils. So you'll want to apply that separately. The nice thing is about our velvet pencils, they can be used as a pencil. The other product is our lip gloss, and it's a healing lip gloss. It's got lanolin, jojoba, sweet almond oil, and vitamin E. So if you struggle with chapped lips, which is how all of my companies actually started, is that formula in our lip gloss is a hydrating, healing formula. So if you're looking for a gloss, you got to try our lip gloss.
I love your lip glosses. This honestly is just, if you have to just want to wear makeup or want to wear lipstick all day and you're afraid of like having to reapply. If I go on camera, a lot of times I don't have a makeup crew with me and I don't want to have to reapply. So I just know I won't by the end of the shoot look like I've licked all my color off my lips, that this will stay. So definitely love this. And but like you say, the oils, you have to put your lip gloss on or your lipstick on afterwards, right? Over this, because it will break it down.
Yeah, and it really depends on the finish you're going for. If you put a lip gloss or a lip balm or something on top of that, it will break down the long wear formula.
Right.
But if you're someone that you just really like that color and then you want some shine, go ahead and put some lip gloss on. Just know that you might have to reapply,
right?
Because it will kind of break down the long wear.
Yes.
Perfect way to say it. Well, girls, I think we learned a lot today. We're coming to the end of this show. I definitely want to touch base on the brand new the sugar scrub. I think that's super fun for people that know Mirabella. That's a new product that we're really excited about and can't wait to try. Please check out Mirabella Beauty on all of our social handles. And any other things we want to touch base before we go?
I don't think so. We're just so appreciative that you had us, and we'd love to come back. If there's any questions, please make sure to send them over. And we appreciate you. We appreciate all of our customers, and thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming on air with no makeup, Miss President of a makeup company. That's true beauty right there, and confidence, and I admire you so much, Miranda. Thank you so much. I think you're doing amazing things for Mirabella, and we're very grateful to be selling Mirabella and be your retailer.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you too. Bye, Sarah.
Bye.
Thanks for all the great tips. Well, everyone, if you have any questions about Mirabella Beauty, be sure and let us know. We have our customer service team standing by. They've all been trained on Mirabella, so they can answer your questions, and we use it here in the salon, so we can usually give you some good tips even over the phone. If you have any interest in seeing other shows coming up or wanting more information on other brands that we carry, we're loving all of your guys' information and suggestions on shows, so keep it coming. Love to hear it. We try and keep you informed of brand changes and new products, and be sure and click that bell so you can get notified of our future shows. We go live every Friday at 11 a.m. bringing you the education and the information on the brands and beauty that you want to use. Thanks for joining us today, and have a great day. Bye for now.